Let me say something that's going to annoy pretty much everyone. If you love net zero, you're going to hate this. If you hate net zero, you're probably not going to like it either. Because I think both sides are arguing about the wrong thing. Net zero isn't the problem. The problem is the name. Because right now, net zero sounds expensive, political, and honestly, a bit meaningless to most people. But what if we changed nothing about the goal and we just changed how we talk about it? So think about this. If I asked you, is net zero working? How do you even answer that? Is it based on emissions? Is it based on targets? Is it 2030 targets, 2040, or even 2050 targets? Is it based on how you feel about your energy bill this month? For most people, there's no clear answer, and that's the problem. Because while politicians and industry talk about targets and timelines, most people care about three things. They care about how much their energy costs, whether the lights stay on, and whether they're in control of it. Net zero doesn't say anything about any of that. And that's why it's become such an easy punching bag in the political press. Because if something goes wrong, you can always blame it on net zero, even if that's not actually what caused it. So let's run a simple thought experiment. We keep everything the same. Same policies, same goals, same transition. But we change one thing. We rename the department. Instead of the Department for Energy Security and Net Zero, we call it the Department for Energy Independence and Affordability. Now, think about what that does. Two very simple, very clear outcomes: energy independence and affordability. Independence means less reliance on global gas markets, more energy generated here in the UK, more stability when things go wrong globally, and affordability means your bills. That's it. No abstract targets, no vague timelines, just are we making energy cheaper? And are we making it more stable? Now, here's where it gets interesting. If your department is called Net Zero, you can always say, this is a long-term plan, there are short-term costs, it will pay off eventually, and sometimes that's true. But if your department is called affordability, you don't get that luxury, because now the public and the media have a very simple question. Why are my bills going up? And suddenly everything changes. Every policy has to answer the question. Every decision has to be justified on its impact on real people. They can't hide behind complexity, they have to deliver, or they don't, and they're out of office. But a new name for the Department of Energy doesn't fix the system on its own. Because right now, if something goes wrong in the energy market, who do you actually blame? Most people couldn't even tell you what Ofgem does. And that's a problem. Because if no one understands what the regulator does or who the regulator is, no one holds it accountable. So in this thought experiment, we're going to fix that as well. We take Ofgem and we make it clearly visible to consumers. We focus it on representing the consumer in the energy market. Call it whatever you like, the energy consumer watchdog or whatever fits. But the key is people should know exactly who protects them, what they're doing, and when they step in if something goes wrong. If a supplier messes up, you see it. If prices are unfair, you hear about it. If the system fails, somebody is clearly responsible and is held to account. Right now, that clarity isn't there. And then we come to the final piece of the puzzle, Great British Energy. In this model, it's not just an investment vehicle. It is something much more important. It's a public option. If an energy company fails, customers don't just get passed around like assets on a spreadsheet, allowing one company to buy the customer base of another. They move to Great British Energy, simple, stable, and transparent pricing. And that's the key point. If private companies can't compete with Great British Energy on price, on service, on customer delivery, then they should lose customers. That's how markets are supposed to work. But right now, when companies fail, the costs get spread across the system and ultimately land back on you and your bill. This flips that whole idea on its head. It creates a baseline, a benchmark, something the rest of the market has to compete with. Now, I can already hear the objections. You can't control global energy prices. That's true. Energy independence isn't absolute. Also true. And markets are complicated. That is definitely true. But that's the exact point. Right now, the complexity hides the outcome. This approach does the opposite. It simplifies the goal down to something everybody can understand. Are bills going down? Yes or no? Is the system more stable? Yes or no? So no, it isn't about abandoning net zero and the goals of it. It's about not pretending the transition is easy. It's about something much simpler. If you want people to support a system, they need to understand it. And they need to feel the benefits from it. Right now, net zero doesn't do that. But energy independence and affordability will. Because it tells people exactly what they're getting. As the old advert says, it does exactly what it says on the tin. And because of this, you would end up getting lower bills, greater stability, and more control. And once they make those the goal, there's absolutely nowhere for politicians to hide. Now, what do you think? Would a change like this actually make a difference? Or is the system too far gone for a rebrand to fix this? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, that's my video for today. This is a thought experiment that has been noodling around in my mind for the last couple of months, and I'd love to know what you think. With that, I'm going to sign off. It just remains for me to say thank you for supporting the channel. If you haven't yet, click that like and subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you back here real soon for another video. Take care. Bye-bye.